Hi, and welcome to the Veronica Harris Show. I'm your host, Veronica Harris, and today we are going to be interviewing, well, I'm going to be interviewing my co-host. That's right, big little brother will be interviewed today, and we're going to find out what he is up to, what he is doing, and just what about him. So stick with us and stay tuned. And welcome back. Now, big little brother, Gregory L. Harris,
Right.
guest today. So you're here, we're going to interview you about what you've been up to. What have you been doing? Well, what have you been doing?
We speak quite often about the comeback, and now I'm about 14 months away, and my research has been very interesting, and I can't wait to share it with you. I know it's going to blow your mind.
So basically, the reason why or as you've been doing this comeback that you always talk about, is to using it as a vehicle to conduct research, I guess, so on your journey, different things that you're finding out. I mean, why?
Well,
Why the comeback, first of all?
and I had to do something. Sometimes you get tired of just going to work and coming home, watching TV, and going back to work again. So I needed to set some goals. And one thing Mommy always said, which I didn't believe I was young, was you can do anything you put your mind to.
That's true.
Yeah, I never, that was just some hogwash going in one ear out the other. Until I said, you know what? I'm gonna put my mind to something amazing that most people think's impossible and do it.
So basically, and that's what researchers do. So basically, you took something and said, well, does this really work? Or you're trying to test, in a sense, a hypothesis.
Right. And what everybody thought, and you hear it all the time in sports especially, you can't beat Father Time. So I said, I'm gonna beat Father Time. I'm gonna show you all how to beat Father Time, and probably write a book about it. Should make a movie about it.
Well, first of all, you said it can't beat Father, but there are a lot of people that are beating Father Time out there now. I mean, we've heard there's been a story about the lady who was 100 years old, and she ran at the Penn Relays.
Right.
And what she did, so she's obviously beating Father Time. Who else? There are many stories about people that are that they're age-wise to be considered senior citizens that are doing triathlons. They're doing Ironman competitions, bodybuilding, and so they are beating Father Time. I mean, just even, I guess you can see, more close to what we would talk about as like the NFL. Tom Brady, he's beating Father Time, 39, still a quarterback, playing well.
In pro sports, you're seeing a lot of older athletes still playing at a high level late in their career, and
Well, not many.
well, I'm saying you see that more often now than what we did see in the past.
Really? Well, yeah, I mean, you could say that. I mean, even if you look at tennis, if you look at the Williams sisters, they are considered old, but in terms of tennis years, as far as them playing, and they're still at the top of their game. I mean, Venus
Right.
is usually in the top 10. Serena is usually 1 or 2, but they are consistently playing at a high level. And Venus is in her mid-30s. So, I mean, she's doing really well. But also, I would like to say besides that, but there are some games where it's not working out, because if you think about this year's All-Star game, LeBron James is going to be the oldest one there at 32. The youngest one is going to be 22. So what does that say? The NBA is trending in toward the young man's game. I mean, because you don't see, he's the oldest one, the oldest All-Star. Not the oldest player in the league, but he's the oldest All-Star. So, I mean.
Yeah, 32 is really quite old, especially they're coming in younger these days. And as you get older, you're not so much worried about the highlights and the numbers as much as, just making it through the season and being strong towards the end of your season. So the All-Star game, that's like Nobody over their 30s even probably wants to play in that anymore. You know, you did that when you was younger. That's like partying and going to the clubs. You do that when you're young. You're not even really interested after you're 30
Or
and
maybe you're just
married
not
and
getting.
settled down.
Well, maybe
and,
you're just not getting voted in either, because it's not like you can. They give you an invite and you can turn it down like at the NFL. You have to be voted in. So if nobody's voting you in, maybe they don't think you're that good.
a good point. Good point there. Yep.
So tell me what's this research? Because you keep saying you're doing some research. What's your research?
So, all right. You ready? Here we go.
Okay. Breaking news.
Lifespan. All right.
Okay.
Lifespan of a
Life
professional
expectancy.
athlete. Yeah. Lifespan of a couch potato. The lifespan of a healthy human being.
Okay.
What would you say it to be?
Well, according to the research, the CDC, the average lifespan for a female, American female, U.S. female, is 77, and for a male is 75. But it depends, but that's just average, and we're usually talking about Caucasian. That is not the same for African Americans in this country. Nor is it the same, and it even is different when you look at geographic, rural life expectancy versus life expectancy in an urban area. So, even though we say this is a 77 and 75, and it has been getting higher, it is somewhat dependent upon race and location.
Okay. So I'm approaching 40, and I'm telling you, this is the first quarter of my lifespan. So you do the math.
So you're going to, not 4 quarters, but I mean, if you talk about
This is the first quarter of my lifespan.
So 4 quarters, so 40. You talking about 40 times 4?
Yeah.
You talking about 160?
I'm gonna live to be 160.
But you know what? I was reading something in one of those science journals, and they said life expectancy is probably topped out as far as probably we won't live to be much older than 100 and I think it was 10 or 15. I don't think 160 was in there. That's pushing it.
No, it wasn't in there. Everybody thinks that, certain things about what health is, health and wellness is, and what it should be.
So what is it? So what is it that you found different?
Oh, you are what you eat. It's important that you watch what you put into you. Yes,
Sure.
that's true.
Yes.
But what that we weren't really concerned with as much is how you get the stuff out of you, how you get the toxins out of you.
So the
It ain't
elimination.
about what you put in, it's about what you're able to get out.
Okay.
Right, your elimination. So you build up toxins 2 ways: your metabolic process,
Right.
and what you eat, and what you come in the air and the water. The toxins you get from there.
So right. So and obviously the environment, which as us living in an environment, if you live in a polluted environment,
Yeah.
it is able, because the skin is permeable, it's not impermeable.
Right.
Things you breathe in,
There you go.
stuff of that nature. And then when you're
There
talking
you
about
go.
the metabolic process, you're referring to the liver.
The liver and
That's the most important one.
and respiratory.
But the liver is the most important in terms of breaking down toxins in your body.
Correct.
So, what else? Go ahead.
So
You still haven't tapped. Where is the wow factor? Where is the big breakthrough that you're promising?
I mean, so what I'm saying is,
I don't think you have it.
now that
I'm not convinced.
now that
I
discovered
think you're quackery.
how to get these toxins out
Charlatan.
more efficiently, more effectively, then that's how I figured out that I'm not only going to beat Father Time. Like the lady, she was 100. She was in the pen relays. But I'm not going to run with the seniors. I'm going to run with the masters. I'm going to be 100 running with the masters.
All right, but even if that's true, you keep talking about, okay, basically the elimination process, how your body gets rid of the things that are put in. What have you found that's different than what medical science, or what can you find that medical science doesn't know about?
They know about it. It's out there.
Well, what is it?
But we ain't paying attention to it.
What are we not paying attention to?
So there was a study.
Okay, who
right.
did the study?
I don't know.
Why?
Not important.
we don't bring alternative facts.
A chicken can stay lifespan is 3 years. He kept a chicken heart alive for 28 years.
Who?
I don't know what his name
Well,
is.
then, as far as we know, then that's non-verifiable. We only deal in real facts, not alternate facts, alternative
He
facts.
kept an earthworm alive for 19 generations.
Who?
Now, if you stayed alive for 19 generations, how old would you be? 950. Where have we heard about 950-year-old human beings?
The Bible.
There you go. You thought it was a fairy tale, didn't you? You didn't believe it. You didn't believe those people lived to be 950.
Actually, no. But I did not. I thought that was just to make the story interesting. Right. However, but we're going to stop right here, and we're going to come back, and you're going to tell us more about this mind-blowing research. All I'm hearing is alternative facts, but we're going to, you stay right here, y'all stay right there, and we'll be right back.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Big little brother who is informing us about his research on how to beat Father Time. So, Gregory.
And I'm glad you laughed at me. Because if you're a scientist and your theory doesn't make people call you crazy, then you ain't really got nothing. So keep laughing. Yeah, keep laughing.
I will. So when last we left off, we're talking about people living to be 950 years old.
Right.
And like I said, we heard about that in the Bible. Obviously we were, take everything literal in the Bible. Like these are parables or these are things used to illustrate points. But you're saying that maybe things that we would thought were just put in there for illustrative effect was more true.
Yeah. So.
Not alternative facts.
So I started working with supplements, trying to get my body back in shape, for the comeback, and experimenting with different diets and things like that. Again, supplements, pills, herbs, all those type of things, the training techniques, different things, stretching, yoga. Went around, tried a lot of things. Whole
dibbling and
bunch.
dabbling.
Yeah, dibbling and dabbling and everything. And I'm a foodie.
Yes, you are.
So
we both are.
And after trying, one thing in my playing days I wasn't up on was nutrition. So I had to start looking into the nutrition aspect of my wellness and how that was going to affect the comeback. And I love to eat. And in my research, I came across an article and it said, we as humans overeat.
Yes,
we overeat.
Especially here in America.
We did that as a survival technique, as hunter-gatherers. We didn't know how much food was going to be available, so we had to overeat, get ththose reserves in us.
Fatten ourselves up.
But we could actually live on a quarter of what we've been eating. But I was a foodie, so I wasn't implementing that. Right. Kept working, kept researching, kept studying, and came across a book said, "Fast Your Way to Health." Okay. All right. And
well, first of all, before you say, let our audience know that things that we're talking about here, we are not advocating them for you to try it, for you to do. Obviously, do whatever your medical practitioner is telling you to do. We're just talking about things that we've done in our lives that have affected us in a certain way. So again, we are not advocating that you should do any type of thing here. Like, don't try this at home, as they say. Follow the advice of your people, your team, your medical team in your life. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, Fast Your Way to Health. Read the book. I had previously tried to get off of meat.
Right. I remember that.
But as a foodie as I was, you know, if I didn't eat meat Monday, I'd eat 2 times the meat Tuesday to make up for Monday. And this past week, I was able to go 3 consecutive days without any meat, and I've never felt stronger. Like, I'd have ran in front of a speeding bus. I felt like I could have stopped it. That's how strong I was.
Well, when you say meat, are you just talking about red meat? Because we do need...
Talking about chicken,
we
fish.
need protein. We do need protein. It's important. Now,
You can get protein in vegetables.
yes, that's true.
Yeah.
But, however, speaking of journey with food and stuff like that, I recently, about a couple months ago, before the end of the year, I wasn't feeling myself. So I wasn't feeling myself for a long time. So I went to this medical place, consulted with a medical doctor, and read a book about the yeast connection, and read about different food sensitivities that we as humans have that we might not know about. And he recommended, you know, a 28-day thing where I changed my eating, eliminated some things and stuff like that. I ended up going gluten-free. And by doing that, I never felt better. And then I also realized, because I used to think, oh, get rid of meat, it's not good. But what I found out is that I do need proteins. And not necessarily because the incomplete proteins are in the plant sources. Complete proteins are from the meat sources. Now, you can combine the incompletes to get the complete, but it still is not the same. So things that I used to totally shun, I started to say, okay, I need to add them back in moderation, because I needed the protein, because my body wasn't functioning at peak capacity. I mean, I'm still working towards it in terms of, you know, tweaking how much protein and stuff like that. You know, a good mix of balance of the carbohydrates and the proteins, and the carbohydrates, my proteins, and my fats, the good fats. But to just get away from it, I find for myself, I do need some protein.
Well, I would disagree.
Okay.
But
All right, Superman,
you
speeding
said
bullet.
to each his own. But so I came across the fasting part, and what else your body's able to do when it doesn't have to digest food is it can repair itself.
That's true.
Now, are you familiar with the body is supposed to be self-healing?
Yes, it is. Yes.
All right.
That's
So the only way for the body to be self-healing is to have an empty stomach, because
Really?
the body spends the majority of its energy digesting food.
That is true. It does take calories to digest
When it
food.
doesn't have to digest its food, it takes that energy and goes to your nerve energy. And the nerve energy will get rid of all your toxins. They had case study after case study in this book, talked about what when people would fast, what was able to get out. Stuff that it was in there from their childhood. Stuff your body had retained from childhood.
Wow.
So when you're fasting, after after your body uses everything in the stomach, it starts using your non-essential tissues.
Non-essential fat.
And tissues. So it's gonna go fat, and then it's gonna go
adipose
tissues.
tissue then.
It'll eat up those tumors, those cancer cells. Moles disappeared.
Hold on. Well,
Everything.
I understand what you're saying, but again, we are not advocating this as a cure for cancer. We're just talking about stuff that you've come across and stuff like that. So please do not think this is a cure. No, not at all. So go ahead.
Yeah. So as the body starts healing itself, and with that information, I said, well, there ain't no limit to what I'll be able to come back and do.
Just by not eating.
By, taking care of myself the way we was intended to take care of ourselves.
Well, it's interesting that you do talk about diet with this nutrition, because the top 10 causes of death for adults, at least 5 of them can be prevented with a change in diet. It's like obesity, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, certain cancers. They say, just a matter of if we change the way we eat, then we would live a healthier life and not possibly become susceptible to those diseases.
And you know what was funny? Diseases that we thought were hereditary weren't hereditary. They were
Meaning?
diet-based. So you say, you know, your parents have, does your father have high blood pressure? Okay, you got high blood pressure. No, my father had high blood pressure because of what he ate. Growing up, he cooked the same, I ate what he ate because that's what he cooked. So I got the same problem.
But you didn't
But
have
it wasn't hereditary,
but you
it
didn't
was
have
diet-based.
But you didn't have high blood pressure. You had high
I was just saying for
Well, I
example.
have high cholesterol, and Daddy had high cholesterol, and it can, you know, high cholesterol, it can either be diet-based, but sometimes when you change your diet and your cholesterol levels are still too high, then they say it's genetic-based because your liver is naturally making too much of that cholesterol, and that is because of genetics and stuff like that. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I just came to find that I think people would misdiagnose
Absolutely.
hereditary diseases
Absolutely.
through, you know,
But like they say, you
that
know,
process
medicine
there.
is not, you know, it's scientific, but it's not definite. You know, it's the practice of medicine, you know, because you're practicing at it. So a lot of times when doctors are looking to find out what's wrong with you, they're basically trying to rule stuff out. They say, okay, it's not this, all right. Let's say, okay, it's not that. It's not that. They keep going until they say, okay, it's this. And then sometimes it's even not that, because I can tell you, all the stuff that I was going through, I went from doctor to doctor to doctor to couldn't tell you. I mean, I had a closet full of medications. But once I changed my diet, oh my God. What? Well, this has been fascinating. It took us a while to get to this point because you was all over the place.
Take your time. Just take your time.
But anyway, it was enjoyable. And again, we're not advocating any type of diet. We're not advocating that you do anything. What we are advocating is research. Do your own research. Right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Absolutely.
So y'all can go do some research and we'll be right back.
This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
And welcome back. Now is the time for What is Veronica Thinking? And I am thinking today about do your own research. What I mean by that is that in life, you're going to go through certain things, or you're doing certain things in your life, and you may consult with experts. Doctors for medical reasons, lawyers for legal reasons, academics for academic things, and they will tell you what they know based on their experience, first of all, and their training in their I guess, professional journey. However, that is not to say that you should not do your own research, especially when the answers that you are getting, for whatever reason, don't feel right. Like, for me, it's like sometimes in my soul, I feel like that can't be all there is. This doesn't, yeah, you may be right, but nah. And it's not because I want them to tell me something that I want to hear. I want to know what's going to work, but you feel like there's something missing. So that's when you go do your own research. Because just because they're the experts, that doesn't mean they're infallible. Okay, there could be something that they don't know. Here, let's take it to the medical industry. This country is based on Western traditional medicine, where we treat the symptom and move on. And by the way, the Eastern philosophy in medicine is where you look at the whole body and you are to treat what is causing the symptom. Because nothing happens for a reason. There's a reason why, that this hurts when you do like that. Or there's a reason why you're getting the headache. The headache is just a symptom of, a problem. So I think that when you are able to look outside the box and do your own research, then and only then will you find answers that are truly meant for you. What do you think?
I like that what you said and about finding the underlying cause.
And that's with anything. That's just not with your health,
You know.
I mean, that's anything in life. Everything happens for a reason. That dryer broke down. There was a reason why. You know, especially, okay, you fixed the dryer, but maybe there was something else that caused that dryer to break down. You got to find out what it is first before you can properly fix it. I mean, maybe it's too old. Okay, so that means time to get a new one.
And then you'll fix the dryer, but your practice of how you wash clothes will cause it to break again.
Exactly.
If you don't examine that also.
Exactly.
So I like to look at everything. That's why I put the comeback so far out, because I had to tackle different areas.
The 6 components of health.
To take the whole individual and get me together.
Right.
The total individual.
You had to look at the 6 components of health. Mental,
physical, social, emotional, environmental, spiritual.
There you go. That's all 6 of them. And they are all interconnected. Like I always say, it's not like looking at one circle, one circle, one circle, one circle, one circle, and they're just in a vacuum. No, everything happens within a context. So this is intertwined into that. You know, physical is intertwined to your mental. Your mental is all intertwined, like the Olympic rings, even though they have 5 and this is 6. But you know what I'm saying.
Did I mention emotional?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
You got all 6.
Okay.
So you did right.
Yeah.
So that's good. And in order for you to get to all of, get that information from all those different areas, you got to do your own research. You got to, you got to walk your own journey. You got to walk your own path. So, just to wrap it up, always do your own research, because your life is not the same as the next person's life. My experience is not the same as your experience. So I have to do my own research to find answers that are suitable for me.
Yes, indeed.
All right. And that's what Veronica is thinking about today. And we thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again next time. You gonna see him again next time, Gregory?
On the deuces, throw your deuces.
Deuces!